Hello, and welcome to the Othentik Wellness Podcast, where we discuss all matters wellness, and we're happy to have you joining us. Our topic for today is food safety and handling, an interesting discussion, and that we are hoping to enjoy together with you. My name is Lily Okero. I'm a psychologist, a hair and skincare specialist, and an enthusiast for natural stuff. I have my team with me. I'll have them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Julie. I am a farmer and an advocate for safe farming practices. Karibuni.
Hi, I'm Mama Almasi, a phytotherapist. You're welcome.
Thank you. Before we go further, Lisa, what's in our kettle today?
Our kettle today is a gut cleanse. We are talking about food safety. So this is supposed to help us detox our system. It is very yummy and very good for you. This is the gut cleanse.
Thank you. It's interesting, even as we are going to food safety, before we get, maybe Lisa, just to ask you really, why do we need to cleanse our guts?
Nowadays, we eat a lot of toxins. Things are not like it used to. There are so many toxins, and we need to detoxify ourselves. And that is what this tea is doing. Remember, I told you, God has given us all we need for life and for godliness. This is for life.
It actually
to detox.
tastes nice.
It tastes nice.
Really
Not bitter.
Not
it has
really.
neem.
It has a
neem.
It has
has
a
neem.
background. Yeah, it has like a background taste, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's
I think
interesting to the
lemon makes
palate.
it interesting.
Yeah.
So you've said we take in toxins, and maybe in relation to our topic for today, we're talking about food safety and how to handle our foods. Maybe Julie, you could define for us what is this that we're talking about? What is food safety?
So now, generally, food safety is ensuring clean food, free of illness and hazards. But most importantly, from the place of production, which is the farm. We're always talking about clean food from the farm, which is from the farm or from production all the way to consumption. So whenever you're talking about food safety, you have to look at the whole chain. Yeah.
What then do we need to consider when we are handling our food? Like, say, I want to make sure I have safe food. I'm a regular mom. I've bought veggies from the market. I'm cooking in my kitchen, or I've gone to a hotel. I'm eating. What are some things that I need to consider just to make sure that the food I'm taking is safe, and also I'm cleansing my gut and stuff like that? Yeah.
So, of course, I always say due diligence before you even talk about the food in your kitchen. Traceability.
Yeah.
That food, where has it come from? Like I said, it's at production to consumption. So at the level of production, who is your farmer and how are they farming? Lisa is always telling us, who is your farmer?
Know your farmer.
Know your farmer. And how are they farming? Because at the farm level, food can be poisoned. Through the applications that you apply on your food, and also through the way you handle the growing, the process of the crops growing, what you apply in the soil.
Yeah.
And then once you are harvesting, who is harvesting? How much, how have they washed their hands when they go to the toilet? Because if some of these diseases that come, these foodborne diseases come from poor handling of,
Contamination. Basically.
So have they washed their hands before harvesting? When they are packaging the food, is it clean? Even how are you transporting that food, or is it coming into contact with some toxic fumes or something like that? So you want to ensure that those processes are well taken care of, so that by the time now you're eating the food in your kitchen and you're applying the right storage techniques, the right way of handling in the kitchen, the people handling should be clean, that food should be clean. So you have to look at it all that way. Everyone, including the person consuming the food.
That's interesting. And you've mentioned about like foodborne diseases. That's a new term I'm hearing. Foodborne. We hear other terms.
Yeah.
So what are examples of some of these foodborne diseases, and how do they even come about?
Yeah. So foodborne diseases are those diseases or illnesses that come through our food, contaminated food. Okay, so you'll find that our environment has pathogens. There's viral pathogens. There is bacterial, there is fungal.
Fungal. Yeah.
Most of the time you'll find the ones with food are bacterial. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, for example, you'll find, again, I'm going back to the farm.
Yes.
Don't mind my monotony. Let's go back to the farm. There's some bacteria called E. coli or E. coli.
E. coli.
Depending on who taught you English. See, she's so quick to jump to E. coli.
Yeah.
So,
E. coli.
It's funny.
the pronunciation
it sounds like a name from a certain community.
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
So, this bacteria is usually found in, it's usually traps in the intestines of livestock, like
Yes.
now cows. That's why they say even when you're slaughtering your cow, you have to be careful about the contents of that intestine coming into contact with your meat. Okay? And then when the cow excretes and your manure, when it's still raw, it comes with it usually, if the cow was infected. So, E. coli is one of them that we need to be very careful about. You remember there's a time there was a debate about wanting to regulate manure, and people were up in arms and all. The issue with manure that's not ripened. Last time we talked about, when we were talking about organic farming, we talked about ripening of your manure. You never take your manure fresh from the dairy or wherever and put it in your crops. If it has E. coli, if it has E. coli, it will stay in your soil, contaminate your soil. Imagine if you have root foods that you're harvesting from that soil. Your root foods are contaminated, your carrots, your potatoes, and also your vegetables. When you're harvesting your vegetable and there is just that raw matter there, you're contaminating already your vegetables. And that can now cause sickness to the people who are going to consume that food. So there is also common ones like cholera. Now once we leave the farm.
Yeah.
And that's why back to the farm, always ensure that your farm hands, there is water and soap anywhere when they're entering the farm where they're going to work or the places they're going to do the packaging after harvesting. Then there is cholera. Now the cholera is what we know. We've always known when there are cholera outbreaks. Also that is a bacterial.
Yes.
And cholera affects also our intestines.
Yes.
It comes when there is contact between water and fecal matter. So we have to be careful about our sewage and how we handle our sewage. And you know, when we used to sing about washing of hands with COVID, it looked like it's only a thing people do with infections like COVID. But no, washing of hands should just be something so common. Every point where people are packaging food, handling food, dealing with food, we should always, we eliminate a lot of these problems by having washing hands and such basic practices. So those are some of them. I think, Lisa, you know others.
Yeah, norovirus. It's a virus. It's almost like this traveler's diarrhea. Again, contamination with fecal matters, or just it's transmitted via someone who has it, and it's very, very bad. You start having stomach aches. Most of the time you will diarrhea, temperature spikes and all that. And that one you'll notice 12 to 24 hours. But some of these diseases you can notice, or your body can tell you within 6 hours. You'll know, what did I eat 6 hours ago? And that's why it's very important to listen to your body, so that when you notice, before they multiply, those things multiply so fast. You do something about it. Of course, she mentioned salmonella. Then there is hepatitis A. That one is transmitted via contact, sexual contact. Can be via, and most of the time it's anal and oral from someone who has it. It's not necessarily like the other hepatitis, but there is a vaccine for this. So it's very important to wash your hands, to separate your chopping boards, or not to use the same chopping board for your vegetables and for your meats and seafood. To make sure things like salmonella, your milk is boiled nicely. You boil it to up to over 60. degrees centigrade. Brucellosis. Do you know it comes from not necessarily milk. In fact, here in LD, they call it dawa ya maziwa. And they say there's no cure for that. I'm not so sure about it. But people become very, very sick. And it's because you've taken milk that has not boiled nicely. And you need to boil. When you're boiling your milk, get your kichungi, mix it. And that brucella dies at 63 degrees. Milk boils at around 60 there.
So a question for me would be, I'm at home. I don't know how to test the temperatures. Would you say boil until it simmers for a while or something? Like the way we are told to know water has been at 100 degrees. Once it has boiled the bubbly, then you let it stay like that for like 5 minutes. So what would you say for milk? Because most people, once the milk comes up, we remove and the milk is boiled. Bora iko na cream, hiyo maziwa ilichemka.
Imagine the brucella is still very alive when it just does like that. That's you need a kichungi or a wooden spoon. When it boils up like this, you mix. If you do not have a thermometer, it's good to check at least 63. That's when that bug dies. You boil it for like even 15 minutes, or you boil it at 75 degrees for 15 seconds. So get your wooden spoon or your kichungi. When your milk is boiling, reduce the heat and mix it. And you will notice when even it's boiling like this, and you just mix with your kichungi, it cools down. So that means hiyo maziwa was not actually to the right, correct temperature to kill the brucella. And that one again is, brucella is also in meat. Yeah. Unaenda unakula nyama choma.
It is?
Yes. It's
only in
no, even in meat. If a cow had it, and you eat your meat, and it's not even vizuri, there's also this one. In the meats, the fattest, part of the meat, you insert it at least 60 something to 70 to 75. That one, the brucella will have died.
This one is interesting. It tells you when you're cooking turkey, lamb, and the temperatures that you need to have.
Which is safe.
Where, if I wanted to find one like this, where would I find it?
You can get it in stores or these shops that specialize in milk. Like me, I got it from a company that sells things to do with milk in Nairobi.
Okay.
Some of these things you can get, these ex-UK things. Like this one, I got it from a ex-UK something.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very possible to get these food thermometers, especially if you love your meat. Is it called
rare?
Yeah, medium rare. Like, yeah. Make sure that the bug salmonella, it is a very difficult bug to kill because it survives on the waters for like 3 months, outside on dry ground for weeks. Imagine. So it's a tough bug to kill. You can imagine when you eat, it is weird because these things, it's contamination with fecal matters or that's how
now that you're talking about the milk and meat, even the E. coli, imagine when someone is milking the cow, then the cow excretes and it splashes into the milk. There, contamination.
It's contaminated.
Yeah, it's contaminated. Then you don't boil that milk.
And people don't want to go at a loss, so they will just filter the milk and sell it to you.
Alafu usichemushe vizuri. Now you get that disease. You wonder, why are you having typhoid? You're having salmonella. At some places, by the way, when the chicken in a tegamayai, other people wash it. But when you wash that egg, you've removed the film that protects it. You've opened it up. So ata unaweza pata salmonella.
Yeah, because
when you wash an egg before you cook
it. Many people, they say mayai imechafuka. Now if you wash her, put it in the fridge.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you leave it out there, contamination.
You serious?
Yes, my dear.
No, but I keep it as is in the fridge.
Yeah.
Like in the egg trays, the covered egg trays. I keep it like that. Then when I remove, I make sure I wash before I cook. That's what I do. I hope that's not wrong.
That one is fine. But others will even wash. Others will just wash to store. And by the way, if you're a farmer and you wash that egg, it will not hatch. and you give it to the cuckoo, it will not hatch.
It's already...
Yeah, it's the film has been removed. It's like a protective layer has been removed. So it's porous. Things will,
That's interesting. And this really then calls for personal hygiene, really. And I wondered to both of you if you could just highlight some of the things that people do to make sure that you're maintaining standards. Like, say, for example, here at Garden Picks, or even you as a phytotherapist, you both prepare foods.
Yes.
You both prepare like supplements like this gut cleanse tea. What are some of the steps or measures you take to ensure personal hygiene and proper food handling practices?
Yeah, personally, I like using 1 part jik to 10 parts water. Even in hospitals, that's what it's used for decontamination of surfaces of the equipments you're going to use. Make sure you wash your hands nicely. You put on your mask, your hair net, and your coat, so that you ensure you do not support cross-contamination, because this is food grade. Then the chopping boards you're using, the knives, the equipment, kitchen equipment you're using, the surfaces, I ensure that mixture is in the bathrooms, in the kitchen, in the toilets, in my house. So you use it to even decontaminate the rags that you use for wiping the surfaces. Yes, that's what personally I do.
So, of course, you, like now, in a space like this where it's commercial, it's an eatery. Apart from the due diligence we have to do in how we handle things, the food that we handle, the food that we receive, the food that we serve, the food that we package, we also go with the government compliances. So we have to have every food, in fact, every eatery is supposed to have a food hygiene license and also the certification for the food handlers. So like now for us in Kenya, generally what we have in every county is, let me just read for you. It comes under the Foods, Drugs and Chemical Substances Act, Cap 254. So under this one, there is regulation on food safety through the public health inspectors and officers. So you'll find they come, of course, inspect the space where you're cooking your foods. And also they give you certification. They test all the food handlers in that space, and they test them and give them certification, so that they ensure that the people handling commercial food are also like not infected. At least it's for consumer protection. And also in facilities that handle drugs and packaging and stuff like that. So that one of the government compliance is important and it's necessary. Allow me to emphasize that one comes, the authorities that handle it. Of course, it's enforced by the county government for proximity, of course, so that it's a county government ensuring and enforcing through its officers. But the authorities involved is the Ministry of Health, government chemist departments, pharmacy and poisons board, and again, like I said, county government. So that's the best way of enforcing, because they are closer to the people.
Yes.
Thank you. I've had a myth, I don't know whether it's true, of the fact that when you say freeze meat, then you allow it to thaw, then you freeze it again, it's probably contaminated. And therefore, in my house, I have someone in the house who does, once you have removed, you must cook it.
Yes.
So I don't know how factual that is or not. Could you mind shedding some light on that?
That person is actually correct. You know, to safely defrost your meat, you either defrost it in your fridge, so that we keep from, the danger zone is 5 to 60 degrees centigrade. And if you defrost it in your fridge, it will defrost pole, or under cold water in the sink, but ensure it is covered. You put it in a zip bag or in a container, then you open your tap and it kind of cools it. Or rapidly in the microwave. The problem with the microwave is when you do not rotate. So when you do not rotate, some places will have defrosted and some places will not. That is a very fertile ground for bacteria to thrive. So when you defrost your meat, ensure you cook it. If you do not cook it, then it is not safe. You cannot defrost that meat, leave it, ama ukate kidogo, ingine urudishe. No, that one is not safe anymore. You cook it, then you freeze it. Yes.
Okay, that's interesting because I am not sure how many people know how to handle the defrosting of the food, because normally I prefer just letting it out of the fridge, allowing it to thaw by itself. I didn't know it needs to thaw under cold water. Thank you for that additional information. Now, another component of food handling, especially in the commercial setting, because at home we know we can put, I'm bringing out the issue of pest control. Like, why is it that you cannot have panyas, rats, mice, cockroaches just roaming around? Why?
Just having
Because, you know, why I'm thinking like that. You remember Ratatouille, the cartoon?
Oh, yeah. That movie made me look at cats differently. I was like,
know,
he's kind of cute.
Rats are helpful. Rats are genius.
Can cook good food.
But anyway, that's
we even have a
fantasy
delicacy
world.
here actually called
Ratatouille.
I know,
It's a
right?
Frenchman who taught us how to make it.
We should make that for us.
We make it every farmer's market.
I've eaten it. It's very nice. Yes, I actually love.
Yeah, one of our farmers actually one time taught us how to cook it. He's a Frenchman. It's a French delicacy.
It has
Using
eggplant. Eggplant and some.
thyme they have.
Yeah, it was actually nice.
Garlic, yeah.
I'll make sure to look out for it and try it out. So now that's the fun part, the cartoon, the fantasy world where mice and rats are a good thing. But why is it necessary to have pest control both at home and in commercial settings? And especially in relation to food handling and in our wellness, why is it important?
Contamination again. Remember, these things are so physical. As much as these pathogens are microorganisms, by the time it's walking from one, it's maybe if it walks from your meat and maybe your meat is contaminated, then it crawls to your carrots and vegetables, and those ones are being eaten raw. And maybe you think you had already washed them. So already there is contamination from the pests there.
Okay, I thought it's maybe because they carry diseases.
Then they carry their own diseases like plague. Rats carry plague, so they, apart from just the physical, mechanical contamination, they carry their own diseases.
And what's so wrong with Mendes?
It's
Cockroaches. Honestly, what's so wrong with cockroaches? I don't like them.
I know.
But I'm just
they look so harmless.
Where do they live?
I hate flies because I know flies are just disgusting. But Mendes will live in the creases. Anyway.
In the drainage, that's where they live most of the time. Yeah, in the manholes, that's where those things live. So you can imagine at night they come from those areas. Come walk on your surfaces. Then you do not clean it. Or you've left out your food. I hate Mendes. Goodness.
Ironically, about flies.
And I'm feeling the bibi. We say bibi.
It is actually the jitters.
Ironically, flies, there's something, sometimes when they say there are some animals or bugs that should never exist. The way we know flies and all the contamination. Kwanza, flies is terrible because they can actually, as opposed to a cockroach, they can move from a toilet that's far there and fly into your kitchen. But also sometimes when some harmful chemicals are used on meat in commercial spaces. One way of knowing that there is something toxic that's been used is that there'll be no flies. So flies could be a good signal for that purpose.
Yes, my dad told me if you ever go to a butchery, it's so clean, it doesn't have any flies, don't buy meat there.
True.
So so they have a purpose anyway.
Yeah, they
and
have
I
a
feel
purpose.
like because also when you're talking about composting, the maggots, those they're not called kitchen flies. I can't remember the type of flies, but the maggots sometimes also they help to decompose and also develop into flies.
Oh, definitely.
So they have their role in the ecosystem.
Yeah, they do.
A question, even as we wind the conversation, what happens when you have food poisoning? In the event that now we have contaminated food, you didn't know that a mouse was your kitchen is infested with rodents, or that there are some roaches that came from some sewer line.
And the food gets contaminated.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then you eat that. So what are some of the immediate measures people should take?
First, the symptoms. How would you know there's a problem? So usually the symptoms for food poisoning, or that there's a problem. Like she said, it shows very fast. These things multiply very fast. There are headaches, there's vomiting, there's diarrhea, there can be fever, stomach cramps, all that. So those would be the first indication that there's a problem. Yeah. Then Lisa should be able to tell us once you discover there's a problem, and there's some food poisoning going on, maybe my kids, my family, myself.
So when you discover you've eaten something, your body is very intelligent to tell you. You'll just know, hapa kuna kitu mbaya. So first line of treatment, before you rush to the hospital, activated charcoal. Get activated charcoal, even a teaspoon of activated charcoal, put it in a glass of water and you drink it. That one will kind of trap the poison and help your body get rid of it. You go to the hospital. When you notice that you've started diarrheaing or you've started throwing up, it's very important to take your fluids so that you don't mess up your electrolytes. Drink lots of fluids. There is this thing ilikuwa inaitwa aje, this ORS. Take that and let your ORS. It's basically, it has salt and sugar, the same electrolytes that is in your body. Because, we are a big percentage of our bodies, is it 75%? It's made of fluid. So you can imagine when you lose your fluids. When people diarrhea wanaendesha kweli kweli ama kutapika. Yeah, you wonder, in fact, you look at it and you're like, where was all that fluid? You can imagine it's coming out of your system, and that's why people get sick. Many times that weakness is because you've rapidly lost your electrolytes, your salts, your sugars. So when you go to hospital, they will give you fluids. So ensure you hydrate. Take a little salt, take a little sugar in the water you're taking. Tell your doctor what you have consumed. Things like rice. Aki, don't reheat rice. Rice, you can, if you cook rice, there is some bugs that grow in rice, which even if you cook it, the bug may die, but the toxins they make will not die. Yeah. So when you eat that food, you made rice, alafu you didn't freeze it. People who like Chinese rice, I love that. But and you use leftover rice, by the way. When you make your rice and you want to make your fried rice, you from the freezer and you cook it, but don't keep it in the fridge. The toxins will continue growing, the bacteria, and they'll be releasing the toxins. So you'll think you have reheated your food to optimum temperatures, which is good. It will kill the bacteria, but has it removed the toxins? That's why activated charcoal comes in. So it is very important to eat healthy and to be health conscious. Wash your hands, ensure your environment is clean. Chopping board ya nyama usitumie kwa kitunguu na tomato. Unatengeneza kachumbari. That one is just terrible. You are just poisoning yourself. Get 2 chopping boards. Get a brush. Easy kwa supermarket. This is you need 50 bob. Get that brush. Use it to wash your chopping board. By the way, they say you'd rather use a wooden chopping board. There are somehow some toxins, some bacteria die when zikiingia kwa chopping board ya mbao, as opposed to plastic. Besides eating the plastic, which is poisonous for you, afadhali hata ukule hii particles ya mbao.
Actually, the plastics is part of food safety. We are the hazards of metals and plastics in your food. That in itself is a food safety issue.
Yeah. So let's forget about these plastic things. Use wooden spoons, not plastic things. Chopping boards, wooden. Then you have separate ones. If you can, 1 part jik, 10 parts water or bicarbonate and vinegar, white vinegar. It's actually 5 liters is like what? 200 or something. A liter is like 65 shillings. That one, besides using it to clean your vegetables. if you're not sure imetoka wapi. You go to the market, you buy your tomatoes, wash it nicely, then you soak it in bicarbonate. And then your vinegar. Somehow you'll have removed some of the toxins.
At least the topical ones that the residue remained on top. It won't affect the...
It won't affect the inside. It won't
remove for you the systemic toxins, but
the topical ones, it reduces, So your health actually is your wealth. You have to take care of it. You have only one body. You don't want to be contaminating it with salmonella and feces and
E. coli.
E. coli. E. coli.
Not E. coli. The importance of having activated charcoal in every home, actually just that simple trick. Just have it in every home and ensure every member of the family knows how to use it.
In fact, in hospitals, it's like the first line of treatment, I may be wrong, against organophosphates. Just a teaspoon, hata wewe utaona tu, a teaspoon or even half a teaspoon. And you know what? All our grandparents, imagine those guys knew. They were not washing hands as often, but they were not getting as sick. When we were growing up, we would go to the shamba, tunakula minji, bichi, mifefe, and all those things. Then you come home, you are given fresh milk and iko na makaa. That was wisdom. Somehow that was binding the toxins that we encountered. But nowadays, people are not following this ancient
knowledge, indigenous knowledge.
Thank you so much. This has been a very interesting conversation. I'm sorry that we have to call it a day for today. And we hope that it was just as helpful for you in managing food and managing your kitchen in your home, and also if you're in a commercial space. Let's take care of each other. And the one thing that we've been told is that we must all have a kajar of activated charcoal somewhere in your kitchen. Let's make sure we're taking care of ourselves, we're keeping these hazards from our kitchens, and we are washing our hands. It just doesn't end in nursery school. It also continues into our adulthood. Thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe, like, and also share. See you next time. Bye.